Welcome to the Miracle You, guiding you on the journey towards finding passion and purpose and how to discover, create, and live a life by your design. Whether your success has been plentiful or your missed opportunities have been overwhelming, we can help you become a more empowered, masterful person and show you how to share your gift with the world. It's time to inspire change from within with the host of the Miracle You, Vince Kramer.
Hello, imagination. I'm Vince Kramer, your host, and welcome to the Miracle You, where you learn about the magic of living your life by finding the example in real life.
Hi, everyone. We're so excited to have you here today. We're going to give you a special episode. We've asked the very first person that was on the Miracle You podcast to come back and spend some time with us, but not as an interviewee, as the interviewer. And we're going to take it a little bit further. This is going to be a two-part podcast released over two different episodes. In the first episode, she's going to interview me about Imagine Miracles, about the Miracle You, about why Mary and I do what we do in Imagine Miracles. And then in the second episode, she's going to interview the Roundtable, that group of energy that most of you know that I have been channeling pretty much for the last 8 years, maybe 9 years now, and to help you understand a little bit from their perspective on why they've been part of our business in Imagine Miracles, but also what they're coming through me to bring to the world and what they would like to see happen in the world. So let's get started with the interview with Andrea and myself.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Andrea Lee, and it is my honor to be here today to have some time to ask some questions of Vince Kramer, someone who I've known now, along with his wife and partner, Mary Kramer, for quite some time. I think about 5 years. This is kind of the story of Vince. Such an incredible human, right? Achieved so many things. Some might say he's like an all-American kind of guy. He was on a path, even as he seems like he was having like an excellent all-American life. He was on another path at the same time. And when he met his wife, Mary, this all came into fruition. And they wrote a book, right? This book, we'll talk about in a minute, tells the full story. I'm giving you just a tiny taste of what happens when an ordinary man meets miracles. And so, Vince, today I get to ask you a bunch of questions I've been dying to ask you for a while. I just want to say thank you for being willing.
Oh, I am so willing. And you have been such an instrumental part of our lives and really challenged me to step into what we're sharing today as the roundtable comes and visits. So it's so appropriate for you to be here asking the questions and being part of this journey.
Vince, really, I just want to take this opportunity to say what just a special experience it has been to get to walk with you, work with you, watch you accept and demonstrate what it means to, say yes to your whole life. And we'll say more about that. So maybe I could start there. I'm very moved actually every time I hear and think about your story. You were a pilot, you were all these things. And then will you share the story a little bit?
Wow, that could take hours and years maybe. But the interesting thing was I followed my dream and actually forgot about one of the most important dreams. So I had two things that I wanted to do when I was 5 years old. I wanted to fly airplanes and I wanted to help people love themselves so they could love others. And both of those about the same time, about 6 or 7, probably 7 years old, both of those went by the wayside. One, somebody scared me in an airplane and I thought I was afraid of heights. I was afraid of flying. I was afraid of falling. So I just gave up on that dream. Yes. Mhm. And then because of society and the way society is, and I'm not knocking society, I think it's been extremely helpful in each and every one of us developing our gifts and talents to truly live our purpose. And I'm sure we'll talk about that later. But because of that, the grown-ups in our lives, if you will, wanted the best for us. They wanted to make sure that we didn't get hurt, that we were successful, that we accomplished everything that we were supposed to. And because of that way of looking at things, my grandfather helped me forget the other dream of helping people love themselves so they could love others. But don't get me wrong, what I learned from my grandfather, even though there was times that I'll admit that I believed I hated him,
Mm.
the lessons that I learned from him really made a difference in my life. As you say, there was a lot of successes in my life and a lot of things that I enjoyed doing. And what, 36 years of flying airplanes was one of them. But there was always something missing, Andrea. There was always something calling me. And that's what kind of moved me into the next place.
So say in your words, if you would, this role that you're now playing, these multiple roles that you're now playing, tell us a little bit about the book. I know there's a longer story, and there obviously there's more places you can get more. You should get the book if you want the full story, right? But just maybe like the 3-minute version of like what happened with the, I don't know, the 2x4 and then the channeling and then the book.
Well, the book is a perfect example of each and every one of us being called. And it's my story of being called and how I awakened to this journey that I was meant to be on. And I truly believe that each and every one of us chose why we came to Earth. I believe that wholeheartedly through my study of science, through my study of spirituality. I truly believe that. And the story that's represented in the book is really how most of us have gone through life. Of course, it's my examples of it, but we came into this world and we kind of forgot why we're here. And we learned from all the amazing people that came into our lives, that we attracted into our lives, how to develop things that make us unique. Our gifts and talents and the combination of it make us unique. So that's in there. And then, okay, yes, I forgot, but it's time to awaken. And through my early teens, late teens, even into my adulthood, I was constantly being called to something else. Little wake-up calls like, wow, there's something missing in my life, or wait a minute, I've done everything Grandpa told me to do, and it's still not quite working out. We're all getting these callings. So once again, it's everybody's journey that's in that book. And then Vince didn't pay attention. So the wake-up calls got louder and louder. 9/11 was a big one. And I don't want to ruin that part of the book for anyone, but that could have been me dying in one of those airplanes, just like it could have been all of us. But as a United airline pilot, I was definitely up the list there a little bit. And I didn't pay attention there. And there was United's bankruptcy not that far after that. And then the divorce. Okay, wow, it's time for me to really pay attention. And we're all getting those wake ups to, okay, it's time to get on that path. It's time to make that difference. You're so amazing. Get on the path, get on the path. And then there was some things that really opened my eyes that came after that. Mary was truly a gift in my life and helping me see things in a different way. And, when you go to an event and somebody's telling you about a little blonde girl that your wife, it wasn't even wife at that point, your girlfriend mentioned to you a night before that I see this little blonde girl energy around you. And then you go to an event and 5 people tell you they see the blonde girl, you have to start paying attention.
Yeah.
My journey, the journey that was listed in the book, that is shown in the book, that really truly ended with you saying, Vince, when are you going to be authentic and get your butt out there?
Who, me?
Yes, you. That story is really what Mary and I, and with the help of the roundtable, I know we're going to talk about them, why we're here. We're to help people on that part of the journey so they don't have to go through the 10 plus years it took me to do it.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
I went a little longer than 3 minutes.
That's okay. You're forgiven. Yeah. So, I mean, the title is bang on. So, awakening through moments of choice, right? And it's written in a memoir format, a memoir of divine guidance. I don't know of any other book like this, and it is so in its radical transparency. So yeah, Vince, talk to me. What is it? Because this is one of those questions that feels like everyone wants to ask, and it's like I don't know. I feel a little awkward putting you on the spot, but I mean, I wanted to do this interview, and I'm like, I wonder if I'm going to ask that. What is it like to be a channel, a stream the way you are? What does it feel like? How does it make you feel about yourself? Say a little bit more about that, if you would, if that's not too outlandish a question.
Like you said, the book kind of laid it all out there. So why stop now? When it first started happening, first of all, it was the energies just started coming in, and I was getting downloads, and you hear a lot of people say they get downloads, and we all do. I mean, a lot of books were written by energy coming in and being downloaded on the pages, and a lot of movies have been written and performed through the same way. But as you said, I was the all-American man. So when the energies first started coming in, I didn't want to believe it. I questioned it all the time. Who am I to have these energies coming in? And with a Catholic upbringing, what was wrong with me that these energies were coming in? Life kind of unfolded in a way that I had to really make a decision. Do I get awakened every night with this energy coming in and not getting sleep and being tired? Or do I open up to different possibilities? And Mary was constantly, you read this in the book, Mary was constantly, come on, Vince, try to channel so you're not staying awake all night. Let the information come through. I finally agreed, and it took almost 2 years for me to agree with her. I finally agreed, okay, I'll let this information come through. When I started that process, I didn't want to believe. The thing that helped me believe was when I would listen to the channelings that I did for Mary after the fact, it was like, I would never say that. Where did those words come from? So I had to start believing that, okay, the energies are coming through. And at first it was really hard on my body. I think that's one of the parts of the question. When the energy first started coming through, I would cough and hack and just had a tough time of accepting the energy to let it come through me and out my mouth. But then I got more and more used to it. I took care of my body. I got energy work to help me get the energy to flow through. And it started happening easier and easier and easier. But then the next phase came in. Well, when are you going to channel for someone else? Well, Mary, I'm not. Because what are people going to think? It's something that I didn't believe in.
Yeah.
And now it was coming through me. So I'm not going to channel for anyone else for several reasons. I was an airline pilot. Can you imagine? I'm your captain today. And last night I talked to Archangel Michael, and it just wouldn't go very well. So I was worried about what other people would think. I was worried about what my friends would think. Would it affect my job? As I got more accepting of the energy coming through, the messages were so important that they became part of the programs that we wanted to share with everyone. And for me, it was, I am sharing the message. I am sharing the channelings. But as Mary kept asking me, and then like I shared, the last chapter of the book is when you ask a group of us, when are you going to be completely authentic in your business? And that was the moment that I decided, okay, I'm going to take it out there. I'm going to share this gift that I have. Was I worried that I would not be accepted? Yes. Do some people think there's something wrong with me? Yes. But I think this gift was something that I knew I was going to bring into the world. Is it woo-woo? It's very woo-woo, but as I shared in a talk just the other day, what is woo-woo? It's just something that pushes our beliefs beyond what we're willing to accept. And because of the things that happened along the journey that you'll read in the book, I had to pay attention. I couldn't deny them because it was something that was so tangible.
Mhm.
I had to believe in what happened, which means, okay, I'm going to allow myself to get out there.
Your story and the way you describe it is extremely important. I think that there's so many of us who are skeptics about our own purpose. We doubt the truth and the possibility that this could be for us. And so, not necessarily everyone is being kept awake and given evidence that they are channeling the vibrations of guides. But, I think it's a very strong metaphor. And the fact that you were, a kind of disbeliever until your own life gave you the evidence that you could no longer refute I think it's a real pivot point in your story. It becomes undeniable. Yeah.
One thing I want to share with everyone, and I didn't know this when I first started and when I first agreed to channel, but I'm not channeling the guides. Yes, they call themselves the guides, and we're used to thinking of them as guides. That's because of society. That's because of what we learned. That's because what metaphysics taught us. But really, when I finally understood through the roundtable that I'm channeling the highest frequency of my energy stream, or I'm channeling the highest frequency of your energy stream, it takes away the separation. Now,
Mhm.
Archangel Michael is a very high vibrate, the energy frequency of what we would call Archangel Michael is the highest frequency of the energy stream, or one of the energy streams that I represent here on Earth. So it takes away the separation. And I know that's big for the roundtable, that there's so much separation and duality. But when we start to realize that we have access to all this information, we can tap into the highest vibrations of us and get the information and the highest vibrations of all the energy streams that are available to us. It sets things apart. And that's why in one of our programs, we teach people how to tap into that frequency, that guidance. Because my desire, and I know the roundtable's desire, because they told me from the very beginning, their desire, my desire is we all get to the point where we can tap into our own guidance and don't need a channel to help us on that journey. And we're channeling all the time. We just don't realize it. In a lot of ways, we don't trust it. But I do believe that it's great to have people that can tap in like I tap in and let the energy come through, because it gives us some belief in what we're hearing. It gives us some confirmation. I feel the energies come through me, and I still need confirmation from time to time.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Yes, we are capable of accessing it, and you are role modeling and we'll ask the roundtable about this in a little bit, but like you just said, you have access to it, and you're showing us how to have access to it so that your vibration can infect the rest of us in our vibration, so that we can step into non-separated reality. I know this sounds silly, but I'm just so curious, Vince. Is it hot? Is it cold? Do you get did it feel like a hug inside? What happens when you tap in to that highest frequency?
Well, my body feels extremely good. My body gets really warm. I hold on to azezulite crystals to really help me let the energy flow through, so that they're extremely warm when the channeling's over. But I will tell you, when the energies come in at the highest frequencies, and when the energies are really tapped into whoever I'm channeling for, there are times that the love I feel inside my body is so strong that I can't help but allow the tears to just flow, because I feel the love that's coming through at that high frequency. That's the most exciting thing that I can feel. And I don't feel it all the time at that vibration, but I do feel the high vibration. It's so high I can't open my eyes, because my eyeballs don't track when the energy is coming through. And after the channeling, it takes me a while. And sometimes I can't walk for a little while because there's so much energy build up in my legs or something like that. But it's not painful. It's just almost debilitating sometimes, because the frequency does get so high.
So interesting. Almost like when, your laptop gets hot or something. Yeah, that's so interesting. Thank you for sharing that. I think it gives us clues for what it's like to become our own kind of battery pack for tapping into. And actually, on that note, you mentioned that in one of the programs that you and Mary provide, you do talk to people about what it's like to, in essence, kind of set foot on the path of channeling or tapping into your own. Is there a little taste of that? I know it's a larger bit that you do in your program, but if someone was curious, comment it below if you are curious about what it would be like to you yourself tap into your own highest level frequency. And so, Vince, is there some beginner step to help?
Well, I'll give everyone something that they can do a little Google research on, or maybe some Chat GPT research on. We use several different methods. Over my time period of awakening and all those moments of choice that the book talks about, I found different ways to help me tap into the energy. And the four main ones that we use in our programs, one's called active imagination. That was actually something that was created, if you will, by Carl Jung. And it's really huge. And active imagination makes a big difference. That's how I tap into my guidance, because when I get out of the way, I can't have the conversation with the roundtable. So I tap into my guidance using active imagination. But we use some guided meditation, because not everybody feels they can do active imagination. In our programs, I've developed a lot of what we call conscious discovery exercises. It's trying to get the answers from all three parts of you, that part that is part of the universe, source, God, that part of you that's the higher self, the non-physical part of you, and then getting the answers from the physical part of you, because the physical part's got to buy into the other answers, or there's so much resistance that you never get anything done. So we do that through what we call conscious discovery. And then another thing that you can do some research around, and it's called voice dialogue. And it was found by Helen Sidra Stone. And that work is really powerful. I've been certified in it. In a conversation with me, we can allow those higher frequencies to talk through you. Not only that, because Helen Sidra developed it to talk to your subpersonalities. So we can also use it to talk to the subpersonalities and get through there. So to actually do an exercise here, it's kind of tough.
Yeah.
If you just do some research around, active imagination and voice dialogue, and it'll give you an idea of how you can start tapping in.
Yeah.
And then to go back what I shared earlier, what's really powerful for the people that we help is as their active imagination gets a little better, they start thinking, well, that came through me and this came through me. But like I shared, after a while for me, it was like, I would never say that. I would never say it in that way. And then people start to realize, oh, I am tapping in.
Mhm.
And they're just along for the ride. It's so amazing.
Oh, cool. And if people, general research is great, but because you have created a pathway, what's the name of the URL that they should go to, that they should just make sure that they, people who are listening and watching can get more information, be in touch, learn more about what it's like to work with you and Mary?
Well, you could go to the Miracle Life Method and there's some information there. So miraclelifemethod.com. There's some really great information there. But if you want to just sit down and talk to Mary and I and figure out what's here for you, because we're here to help you. You want to figure out what the next step might be, just go to imaginemiracles.com, all one word, /I am ready, all one word.
Perfect. Perfect. I think maybe the question maybe that we can, I have so many questions for you, Vince. But let me ask you one more question, and then maybe we should see if we could connect with the roundtable, if you're willing.
Sounds great. Yes.
It's hard for me to say which I'm more excited to ask questions of. It's you, Vince, or the roundtable. I know there's no separation. I know. We'll ask the roundtable about the future, and we'll ask them what they see. But for you, Vince, in terms of three-dimensional reality, what are your hopes for this next 5 years? For you, let's say, for you and Mary and the work that you're doing, for the progress that you hope your students make.
Well, my hope for the next 5 years is for more and more people to pay attention to those wake-up calls and to be willing to take action on them. We can hear them all the time, but we have to take action on them. And my hope is that more and more people really start finding out why they chose to come to Earth, because there's such a valuable piece in this big puzzle. And they don't know how valuable, they don't know how important they are to the world. For what Mary and I are doing, I hope that we can be the guides, the mentors, the coaches for those people who are called to us. We all have different energy. We all have gifts and talents that are meant to help a certain group of people. And I hope that those people that are attracted to Mary and I believe the promptings they're getting, believe the messages they're getting, and reach out and start on this journey. We're truly here to move into community. And in that community, we want to help everybody make the difference that they're meant to make in the world. And it's going to happen fast. There's an energy shift coming in just a few years. And the more people that we can help be the example for that energy shift and be ready for that energy shift, I think we're doing our part. We're living our purpose. And we all think it's our why, but there's actually a who and what to the three parts of our purpose. We call it the Your Unique Purpose. Everybody understands their why, but they haven't uncovered that who and what yet. And the who and what are actually how you live your why. And that's why those two parts are so important to bring into the mix.
Yeah. Who, what, why. People get the why, but not also the who and the what and then the how. Yeah, that's such a powerful part of your teaching. I am so grateful to get to chat with you, and I'm so excited shall we invite the roundtable? Are you ready?
Let's.
Okay, thank you so much, Vin.
You've completed this episode of The Miracle You, but we have plenty more to help you discover your own personal passion and purpose. Head over to themiracleyou.com for free resources to assist you on your journey, as well as register for our free webinar, Discover Your Miracle Life, 3 Mind Awakening Steps Toward Your Unique Purpose, or apply for a one-on-one Your Life, Your Way breakthrough session and discover your next best step on your journey. All available exclusively on our website. That's themiracleyou.com. We look forward to sharing more experiences of passion, purpose, and life by design next time, right here on The Miracle You.